Hi, so I'm Sam.
I'm Ria.
And this is Albie.
So we didn't know Albie had a heart condition before he was born. He was diagnosed with a heart murmur before he left the hospital where he was born, but I didn't really put two and two together about what that could mean. We were at home obviously because he was born at the start of lockdown, and he was a little bit sort of lethargic, he wasn't feeding properly, and my instinct said, as a mum, something's not quite right here. So I managed to get in touch with my GP, who said, have you been back in touch with the Freeman regarding Albie's heart murmur? I managed to ring the Freeman and I got seen the next day, and Albie was diagnosed with a VSD, a large VSD, and we were seen at the Freeman the next day, as I said, and then we were told he had actually 3 holes in his heart at that point in time. Albie was admitted to the Freeman in April of 2020 for a tube to be fitted into his nose so that he could try and gain weight prior to having his operation. So we were in the Freeman for a couple of weeks in April, and then he finally had his VSD repair at the start of May when he was 9 weeks old.
So I think for us, the fact having a baby during a pandemic was going to be a scary experience anyway, but then having a baby with a heart condition was even more scary, as the time that we needed all that support from family and friends, we just didn't have it. And there was lots of things that we were worried about on top of that. So when Albie was having his surgery, where were we going to stay at that time? And also food, like did we have to take food to the hospital? So that was the role that CHUF played for us, which was so important. They provided us with accommodation, so that just gave us real peace of mind, and it just made it easy for us when Albie was having his surgery that we could just pop in and out of the flat at Scott House. So the Scott House part of CHUF is just a brilliant thing, and it made it so easy for us. And the food as well was just a godsend really, because that again just made it really easy for us, and it means that with having so many things to worry about at that time, it just removed a worry from us, and that gave us even more peace of mind. And
like for me, I was in with Albie for 2 weeks beforehand, before his operation, and I wasn't allowed to leave the ward. We were in isolation at that point because of the COVID situation, and it meant that meals were brought to me rather than I wasn't allowed to go out obviously to the canteen or anything, so it just meant everything was done for you, so it took real good care of us.
Yeah, and it was massive for us, and it was just a massive sign of how important CHUF is, and just how much help that they do, and we really felt that, didn't we?
Yeah.
So brilliant organisation. So on the whole, our experience of Ward 23 in PICU was amazing. It was a very lonely experience because of the pandemic. Only one of us was allowed in at one time. So me and Ria were like ships passing through the night for a lot of the time. So because of that loneliness, all of the staff in Ward 23 were just lovely with us. They were very, very kind, very supportive, and it made us feel very welcome, which was really important for us, as it was all brand new to us. So our experience of Ward 23 was just amazing, and we couldn't have asked for anything more from the staff. And also PICU was just anything. It was just beyond anything we could have possibly imagined. The fact that Albie had one-on-one care was just amazing, and that just gave us a lot of support, and it also allowed us it gave us a bit of respite, didn't it? So time together. So it meant that we could leave the ward, knowing that Albie was in such capable hands, and that was one of the biggest things for us, because obviously we were so worried and panicked about everything.
And we had no family at that point, obviously, because it was right in the middle of lockdown, so we couldn't see our family at home. So it was the only time we had together. Yeah,
so that made the experience feel even more lonely, because obviously our families weren't there to support. So the whole staff on Ward 23 and PICU were just amazing.
Yeah,
and
so
we've just got so much thanks for them. So thank you so much.
So when I found out Albie was poorly, obviously during the pandemic I didn't have much else going on other than looking after him, so I had a look around on the internet for organisations that might help us out, and that's how I found out about CHUF. And I decided, it was coming up to my birthday, and I thought, hang on, I don't need anything for my birthday this year. why don't we try and raise some money for CHUF through Facebook, because there's a little application where you can put a charity post on your page. So I did that, put a target of £100 and thought, why not, let's just see whether we can raise any money for them, as every little helps. And it went viral. It ended up on the front page of the Chronicle, all our family and friends from all over the world. There was Australia, America, everywhere. People just went above and beyond, and we ended up raising over £11,000 for CHUF, which I think will make a massive difference to families just like us.
Yeah, it was an amount which was just way beyond anything we ever expected, and we just can't thank all of our friends and family enough. We understand how important the work is CHUF do, and having experienced that ourselves, we can see where that money's actually spent. So raising such a big amount of money makes us feel really good, as we know how many lives that'll help.
And I actually know a few other heart families that have been in since, and I've heard of things that CHUF have done, like bringing coffee to them, donuts, Christmas presents, Easter eggs, and I've heard directly from the parents, no, I always think of you when I get these things, so that's really nice as well.
Yeah, and I think things like the meals, those meals are subsidised out of that money too, so that just shows how important a role that money plays. I think there's we found out about some machinery on the ward that money raised by the charity helps to contribute towards. So knowing how much we raise and how helpful that money's going to be is just a brilliant thing, really, isn't it?
Yeah,